this is the Virtual District Leadership Town Hall. Thank you guys for coming out. If you guys know me, I'm kind of a stickler for time, so we're not going to waste much time. Again, I was hoping to get more people out, but that's okay. We'll have more events between now and February to try and garner some interest in serving as district leaders. So are you an emerging leader, or you know someone who is an emerging leader? They should probably be here, or they should probably be talking to you, right? Because now's the time of year to do that. I see affirmative, I see head nods. So this is the agenda. If you can see that, there's the agenda. So we had our welcome. We're gonna dive right into the benefits of district leadership. And for that, I am going to call to the virtual stage Mr. Daryl Brown, who is a past district director of this district. He is a current RA for Region 1. Please help me welcome Daryl Brown. Woo-hoo.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak to all of you today. Many of you are experienced leaders or emerging leaders, or perhaps you know some people within your Toastmasters circle who are emerging leaders as well. There's tremendous benefit in serving in the district level as well as the club level. The experiential leadership that you gain and acquire from this are transferable. In fact, they're valuable transferable skills that will enable you to accelerate your career in the workforce. Those opportunities for promotions that you may aspire to reach or attain, it all starts right here. It starts with what you learn here, whether it's the shortcomings or the successes. Stepping up into leadership prepares you within this environment to excel in the environments in the workplace. And even if you're no longer working in the workforce these days, or perhaps you're self-employed, there is no situation that we experience in life that doesn't call for good leadership and good communication. And what you acquire when you take the step into serving into district leadership, it's actually a promotion from club leadership, where you start with the bare bones of learning the basics of leadership, especially if you've never served in leadership in the past. But in here, you become a leader of leaders as a district officer. You become part of a leadership team where you have an opportunity to emulate best practices. You have an opportunity also to work with diverse groups and how you can adjust your leadership style to other leaders as well and learn to work together toward a common goal. I would personally, in my own personal development as a district leader, my preference is to make all of the mistakes that I can make here. So when I enter into leadership in the workforce, I'm excelling because I've learned from all of the mistakes I've made from experiential leadership here in Toastmasters. When the Toastmasters International phrase or slogan is where leaders are made, this is how you become made. This is how you become developed. And if you take advantage of the opportunity for you to grow and excel here, there is no team you can't lead. There is no diverse group you can't interact with. There's no person you can't positively impact as a role model and a mentor. Because if you use this as your classroom and fully embrace it and give it all you've got, You're going to get more out of your experience as a district officer and a leader than any other experience you may approach. I encourage you, it's a tremendous benefit to me because now serving as a region advisor, my responsibilities consist of helping to train, develop, and support district trios towards success in leading their districts. So I've had an opportunity as a past district director, as a part of the district trio, to give back and help influence others to be successful as I've been successful. But it took that first step when I decided to become a club leader, and moving forward from there that made the difference. How about you? Think about your potential. Think about what you can unlock within yourself. Think about what you can discover if you take that step to become a district leader, or take it a step further. You may have served as an area director. How about a division director? How about thinking about moving toward becoming a part of the trio? It's of tremendous benefit, and your audience, your team, and other leaders are waiting for you to take that step. Take it today. This is your time. Back to you, Jacqueline.
I'm muted, guys. I was muted. I know you guys were saying it. You're muted. You're muted. Yes, I know. Now, I kind of called a few friends within the district, past and current district leaders. And I wanted everyone to kind of just give a high level, 2 to 3 minutes, guys, 2 to 3 minutes tops, high level of the role you either are currently serving in, or the role that you may have served in previously. Now, I will say, for the district trio, just to protect the integrity of elections and campaigning, I purposefully did not call on 2 of the trio members, let's just say that. But I am going to call on our district director. But before I call on our district director, I know that there's somebody I've called on who has to leave a little bit early. So I want to give that person just her 2 to 3 minute space to speak, and then she can be about her business, and we'll go in sequential order after that. So I want to call up to the virtual stage Ms. Stephanie Prochaska, who was our Division Director of the Year from the 2020-2021 year. Ms. Stephanie, are you there? Can you just give us a high-level overview of what it was to be a Division Director?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much, Jacqueline, and thank you for being cognizant of my time this evening. I appreciate it. Good to see everybody. I miss everyone. So as Jacqueline said, I was the Foothills Division Director, and my responsibilities were to manage the 5 area directors who were then managing or overseeing the clubs in their areas. Being a division director was great. It was very hands-off on the club level. So if you are looking for a role that isn't directly involved with the clubs on a day-to-day basis, that's a good option. But I do encourage still participation at the club level, attending club meetings, just because the majority of the feedback I got from clubs were that the district and the division itself was this black void, and they didn't really know what was going on there, or if anyone was really there listening to them. So any involvement that you can at the club level would be very beneficial. To me, echoing a lot of what Daryl said, the benefits of being a division director were you get to work closely with fellow leaders who are passionate, who really enjoy personal and professional growth, and who want to spread that to others. And it's a great opportunity for networking in that sense as well, in a low pressure setting. The most rewarding part of being a division director, in my opinion, was planning and attending the speech contests. Those are amazing. There are some amazing speakers in our community, and it's just such a joy to be able to listen to them and to help them grow and to help them on their journey. The most challenging part of being a division director, for any of you interested, is I personally am not a good person manager. I find it difficult to tell people what to do, and I have the confidence in them to do what they think is right, except in the cases where people might take advantage of that. So it was very difficult for me to try to direct certain individuals, but it all worked out in the end. I would have definitely done it again if I didn't have other major responsibilities this year, but I encourage you all to apply. Being a division director is great. You'll have so much help and everything will work out fine and you won't regret it. So thank you very much. Feel free to email me if you have any questions about the role or responsibilities or my personal experiences. Thank you.
Miss Stephanie, thank you so much. If you would be so kind as to drop your email in the chat, because I promise you I can't recall it. So drop that in the chat for us. That would be awesome. Now I want to go in order, if you will. So with the district trio, instead of starting with, I know she's eagerly awaiting, but I'm going to get to Miss Victoria. But I'm going to that. Daryl, you have served as program quality director and as club growth director. Would you be so kind? Now, when you were club growth director, it was actually called something else, right? It was called the Lieutenant Governor of Marketing, but it's essentially the same job. So if you could give us a brief overview, kind of combine those two, a brief overview of program quality, brief overview of club growth director. Would you be so kind as to do that for me?
I'll be happy to do so. Back when it was called Lieutenant Governor of Marketing, even though it's a different title, the responsibilities remain the same. The Club Growth Director is one of the key drivers toward district growth when it comes to two aspects of it. One of which is retention, where the Club Growth Director leads teams and committees to provide support to the clubs to ensure they remain vibrant and also that they remain moving forward in the areas of excellence. So they work with the clubs that are eligible for what we call club coaches. And club coaches are ones in which they advise, they support, and give guidance to the club leaders to help them to achieve their goals toward distinguished club program or better. Ultimately, when I served as club coach, I strive toward ensuring that they go to President's Distinguished because I always want them to get the very best out of the experience. But overall, in that aspect of retention, we find much success when we train and recruit great club coaches to help support our clubs to achieve their potential and their goals. On the extension side, we also have in the Club Growth Director's role that we look to expand our efforts toward two aspects of our district growth, which pertains to community clubs as well as corporate clubs. In working with corporate clubs, we work with a variety of different corporations and businesses to establish clubs within them for their employees to benefit, as well as their managers to develop themselves in leadership and growth. In the community clubs, it's similar as well, but the advantages of working with community clubs particularly is that it brings in the community people from all walks of life, and there's usually no limits to how those clubs are established. When the club growth director is successful in both the retention and the extension side of the house, the district grows and develops. It sounds like a big responsibility, but what I find is most club growth directors that are successful realize how important it is to establish retention teams, which consist of also a retention chair who works and trains the club coaches, in addition to an extension chair that works with them as far as helping with outreach, engaging corporate and community, prospective corporate and community clubs. And in that also helps to organize what we call kickoff meetings for those prospective clubs. And I found it to be a very rewarding experience as Lieutenant Governor of Marketing before the transition to the Club Growth Director position. And in that, we were able to achieve Distinguished District because of the hard work that we put into it on the retention and the extension side of the house. For program quality, you are the person responsible for helping our district to ensure that we have top-notch quality programs. One of the most important elements is the training of our leaders, in addition to the training of our members to ensure that they get the very best that they need in the areas of communication and leadership development. And that's where Pathways comes in. And when there's full adoption of the Pathways educational program and members really dive into it, they find themselves tremendously benefiting from that. And when the program quality director is fully embraced or engaged in the development of our members and the development of our leaders, the experience itself as a whole is rewarding. But it doesn't stop there. They are also in the areas of event planning when it comes to the conferences, and their role is very significant in that area to ensure that we can market Toastmasters on a larger scale throughout the district and connect with all of our members throughout the district in the district conference experience. Ultimately, the program quality director seeks after just that very thing: program quality and excellence. And when you fully embrace those roles and you really find out everything that you need to know to be successful in those two critical leadership roles, you enjoy the experience just as much as many of us have, and we found success. And I have no doubt, if you're willing to take the step, there are people here that are willing to support you, to become a part of your team, and you don't have to do this alone. And the more people in this district you get involved in helping you in the service of both of those two critical roles, our district gets stronger. Back to you, Jacqueline.
Thank you, Daryl, for that synopsis, that high-level synopsis for the program quality director and club growth director roles. I wanted to say, because sometimes I struggle with these slides sometimes, but I wanted to say before I put this slide up, all of these roles work together to achieve the district mission. And if you are a current district leader, you ought to know that district mission by heart. So could you say it? Can we say it? What's the district mission? I see AJ is saying something. She's on mute.
We build new clubs
and support all clubs in achieving excellence.
All right. And the person at the center, and that doesn't mean the person is self-centered. That's not what I'm saying. But the person at the center of ensuring that all of this sticks together like glue and flows effortlessly is the district director. I think we have someone in the house who's currently serving in that role. Miss District Director, could you please, high level, 2 to 3 minutes? And you know how I am about timing.
And you know how I am about talking, so that's why she's telling me that.
Yeah.
All right, so AJ, you can start now. So first, I just want to say thanks to everybody that has come to the meeting and just wanting to find out more or just share what you've gone through. That's really important. hearing what Daryl said and Stephanie, I got the opportunity to work with Stephanie last year. Awesome person. Just always, not when you're not sure, we always ask everybody, just come to us, ask us, tell us what you need. And Stephanie did that. And that's how she became the top-notch division director last year, because she was able to find out the answers and get back to her people and tell them what needs to be done. And she admitted that she struggles. Trust me, Stephanie, I'm struggling this year. So what have I learned from being district director? I have been an area director, a division director, and I've started on the trio. I'm all 3 years. This is my 3rd year on the trio. So I've gone through it all. And it's very much a very big learning curve. The first year, you're kind of working with the clubs, but you're also working outside of Toastmasters to a certain extent, trying to find those new members. But then when you're a program quality, like Daryl said, you come right back into the fold and you start reaching everybody that's already in the officer position. And that's really exciting because you get to see a lot of leaders emerge. And that's what I've seen. And it's super exciting. You don't do what you do in Toastmasters without having a heart of serving. And you are not on the trio without doing that either, because that's all it really is. It's about serving and giving people what they need, when they need it, and how they need it, all hours of the day. So I'm not going to sugarcoat that, because sometimes at the beginning, when you don't know what you're doing, you're spending a little bit extra time. Once you kind of get to this nice little pond of calmness, it starts all over again because somebody throws a rock in the middle of your nice sweet pond and then it ripples all over again. But what do you learn through all that? You learn the mistakes that you make. You learn how to take feedback. You learn to admit when you're wrong. You also learn your strengths and you learn your weaknesses, and you find those people that can help you with your weaknesses. One of my things that I've always said in life is build your strengths and delegate your weaknesses. Know a little bit, but also know that you are here for a reason with your strong skills. And that's what you really want to teach people. I have, stumbled over stuff this year. I've said things and it comes off wrong. Like Jacqueline and I, last year we had a lot of stuff and it's difficult in this environment because we can't see each other's faces all the time. But being a leader and being over everything, it's not about the title. It's not at all. And I think some of you have gotten emails from me, and you'll see I don't always put my title at the bottom of my emails. I just put Victoria because that's all I am. I know I'm the district director, but I'm just Victoria. And I got to tell you, just like Daryl said also, the team that you build when you move up is really important. And that relationship you develop, I've got to tell you, I've worked with Ann Hill for the past 1.5 years, and it has been a struggle because we've gone through COVID. But I got to tell you, Ann has been the best thing for me and my leadership. Very honest, great feedback. Okay. So I just want to encourage you all to think about what you want to do, figure out how you want to grow a little bit outside of the box. Area director, division director, a manager position. You as a district director, I've got to find my own managers. And I got to tell you, man, I got blessed with Joseph, and he's going to talk in a few minutes, but awesome guy. So just remember that we're not perfect. We all learn. We all grow from feedback. So please don't ever be afraid to receive feedback or to give feedback, because that's how we all learn. Madam, in IPDD. Immediate past district director.
I'm Jacqueline. So thank you, Miss Victoria. I appreciate
Jacqueline.
you giving that overview. So I'm going to call on our area director from last year, the area director of the year from last year. But before that, there is also someone else who told me that they have time constraints, and I want to respect that. So that is your finance manager, Joseph Vanderlind. If you would please approach the virtual stage and just give us a high level view of what it is that you do, sir.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Toastmaster Jacqueline. And thank you all for joining tonight. I wanted to provide just a little bit of my experience so far throughout the year and to share the ways that I've grown. So I would say the first thing that you can focus on in stepping into a district role. So I'm the finance manager. I work alongside, kind of behind the curtains with the trio as a sounding board, but also as a verification party. It's a third party position where you're kind of doing forensics. So I would encourage you to think about the value that not only you can bring to the organization with fidelity in our finances, but also in your career. Many people are serving to develop themselves as leaders, and in a changing work environment, as well as COVID with hybrid meetings, there are so many more things that I've learned to be a Toastmaster just in doing the finance role. And so that might seem kind of disjointed or very far apart. It's really not. In understanding the way that the organization runs, it doesn't matter if you serve your church, if you are involved with early education or philanthropy, charity in your community. To understand the way that an organization runs and also how the budget, the finances are allocated, you then get to provide more value in looking for ways to improve the budget, in looking for ways to communicate with the leadership. And so that synergy is apparent at all stages. But if you're looking to grow personally and professionally, taking a step into something that kind of seems daunting, and flat out, one of the first questions I asked Tom Mars, the previous district finance manager, was this: do I have to chase members for dues? He said, no, that is so far apart from your role. You do not have to worry about that. So as far as day-to-day, month-to-month, you're going through district orders. You're working with the budget. You're working with the district director to make sure, hey, we allocated X amount for membership, for marketing, for badges and pins. Why is the budget off? So then we give these explanations. And there's the great thing about this district is that there's a legacy of leadership. And so Tom Mars, JP, eventually myself, there is a huge safety net. We have 2 full-time staff accountants that if you say, oh no, I put the wrong date, I put the wrong dollar amount, can you fix this? I'm off on the budget. No worries. They're there. They'll respond within a day, and you will grow as a person. And it's not just about plugging numbers into the spreadsheets. If you like making graphs and pivot tables, then great. But working with the team, more in a not direct spotlight position, it's a great way to serve with the district. And I'm happy for questions later too, if there's a moment for that, Toastmaster Jacqueline.
All right, thank you, Joseph. I wanted to respect your time there, sir. And I don't know now that you're 6 months in, which is easier, chasing down members for for dues or being in charge of the district finance. I don't know. I'll leave that to you. I'm going to call up to the virtual stage Nancy Winston, who is a past district, I think she was past district governor, and she wasn't a district director, but she's a past district governor, but she's not speaking about that. Last year, she actually said, hey, I'm ready to step up and serve. I'll be an area director. So she was our area director of the year for last year. So Nancy, 2 to 3 minutes, ma'am. High level, thank you.
Hi, everyone. I am Nancy Winston. I forgot to put on the DTM. Several times I've been in since I was a little kid, okay? For 40 years. And last year wasn't the only year I served as an area director, but over the years, every time I served, I got better. Now, we don't ask our division directors to serve more than one term, but they could certainly do a better job if they did it a second time. There's so much to learn. There's so much to learn. But as you've already heard from several people, there are people there to help you. Stephanie was great. We had regular monthly meetings and they were Zoom. That was the nice thing about being on Zoom, because we could have our monthly meetings every month. I was ready for them with my report. But why did I become I don't know why I become an area director of the year. Well, for one thing, with the meeting, and I know people don't like the Zoom. I mean, they're tired of it, but I was able to visit my clubs almost, I would say at least every 2 months. Every 2 months throughout the year. So that was every other month. And the one club that's, what's the word I'm trying to think? A city club, company club. I don't know if they enjoyed having me or not, but I still went and I still supported them. I encouraged them a lot to be, for the members to be doing pathway speeches, but this is a volunteer organization. You can't force people to do anything. So you encourage, you encourage, you encourage. So it takes a lot out of you. So that's why you have support from the division governor and support from the area, the district. The words aren't coming to me now. The district director as well. So, but one of the main things, and my first time as an area director years ago, I didn't understand, oh, well, we need to start a new club. I'm like, well, how am I going to start a new club? But that's how clubs grow, by new members, and districts grow by new clubs, and maintaining the initial clubs. So I don't know where we are, but with Zoom, I know we've gone down a little bit in clubs, but I think our district has done better than some of them, really, from the looks of things, because overall, Toastmasters International has gone way down in membership. The one thing I want to leave with you, visit those clubs and support them as much as you can. You're not expected to be a coach. You can help them with some tough times, but you're not really a coach. You're there to support them in their activities, encourage them to be a distinguished club by following the Distinguished Club program, and start a new club. That helps. Madam IPDD, Madam Jacqueline.
Thank you. Thank you. Just for those of you, she said, I don't know why I became area director of the year. She just said why she became area director of the year, because she didn't just happen to be, she wasn't just an area director where a club just happened to pop up in her area. When I tell you, she for 2 years had the vision of starting this club, and she went after it. She talked to our club growth director last year, Jeff Scott Ruiz, and said, I'm going to start this club. And he said, well, what do I do now? I said, trust me, she has it. She has it. And by January, she had all of the people, the past leaders united in the service club. Yeah. And yeah, so she was very instrumental in chartering that club. You have to be a past district director or governor to join that club. Right. There are a couple of leaders on here. No, I'm just put a shameless plug. If you are a past district governor or director and you're not a member of the club, at least come out and join us on the first Saturday of every month. Shameless plug. Moving on to last year's public relations manager, Mr. Keith Horowitz. 2 to 3 minutes, high level. What did your role entail, sir?
Thank you, Jacqueline. Gives me great pleasure to tell you about the public relations manager role. I had the honor of serving for a full year and then stepping in to be able to serve 3/4 of a year for Jacqueline and her team. What does it mean to be the public relations manager? Does it mean you have to be a social influencer? I don't know. How many people have heard the word Facebook? Oh, come on. Everybody has heard of Facebook. Yes. That's what you have to be able to know, is what is available out there, because that's what you're going to help your team use. As public relations manager, you're the key player in getting communications out for our district. Now, there's 2 sides of that. In both cases, you're going to work with the trio to determine what is the best way to get the different communications out. The 2 sides are internal, where you're producing information for the memberships of our district. And then there's external, where you're producing information for people outside of Toastmasters or in other districts. Both of those go hand in hand, but there's a different flavor to each. You're also the key player in being responsible for our brand image. The brand image means making sure that our communications use the right colors, the right fonts, and are properly using our Toastmasters International logo, because it's real easy to push beyond the limits with that. And we want to respect that, because that is an important foundation of our system. For being the public relations manager, you don't go it alone. No, you have a team. You have people who know Facebook. You have people who know how to do email. You have people who may be helping you with newsletters or blogs. You will have people helping you with the D26Toastmasters.org website. You may have a vision for what that website needs to look like so that we can produce the best information for our members to get what they need, and for people coming in to look at Toastmasters for our district, so that they know what we're about here in District 26, because we represent a large number of clubs, we represent a large number of officers, but more importantly, we represent a large number of members, and we're here to help them. And as public relations manager, your job is to make sure that we're doing it well. We're getting our public relations out there. You're helping influence the VP of Public Relations for all the clubs, as well as being out there and providing all of the information that we need to be able to share. And sometimes you work with the trio to figure out who's doing what at what time, get a plan together, make it happen, because you are the key voice of District 26, internally and externally. Jacqueline.
Awesome. Thank you, Keith. I sincerely appreciate that. And you're always so exuberant when you're giving your presentations. I love it. Last but not least, I want to call on last year's administration manager, who was also our Toastmaster of the year. So I'm going to call on Ms. AJ Heron. 2 to 3 minutes, ma'am, high level. What did you do? What does the admin manager do?
Thank you, Madam Past District Director, our current trio, all of the speakers, and most importantly, the emerging leaders that are here with us in this room and over Zoom, looking at this video after this meeting. What did I do as the administration manager for District 26? Anything the district director asked. It's that simple. She needs something sent, we get it done. She needs help with getting ready for a meeting, we get it done. The bottom line of all of this is it's the heart of a Toastmaster. It's to just say yes. And truly, I look at this set of squares and I see so many private conversations that I had during my start on my Toastmasters journey in District 26. It started with Jimmy Dent and myself at Xilinx. He was called to another state. District 26 needed help with logistics. I happened to be able to do large events and meetings. Next thing I knew, I was the logistics manager for District 26. Had no idea. Thought I was going to be serving coffee. And then the next thing I knew, the up and coming district director, which was getting ready to start his year, turned around and looked at me and said, I need an administration manager. Boom, happens again. Just say yes. I look at Joseph that I've had times with. I look at Mark, who, as he was being a division director, would come to me as he was pulling all of his reports together of his area directors, my many conversations with Stephanie, the work of Nancy Winston, all of that rolled into one big report that had to be put together for, yes, you guessed it, the district director. I had to make sure that Jacqueline was briefed at all times, and I also had to make sure that we made sure that all of our upcoming emerging leaders were fully supported so that they could continue to move forward. What a year it was. I'll never forget it. And as I look at this set of squares and see the emerging leaders that are coming behind us to lead District 26, gives me goosebumps. I can't thank Region Advisor Daryl Brown, Jacqueline Smith, all of the people, the current trio, for all of the leadership you have given. And for TJ, Mark, all of you that are starting your journeys, the Kimberlys, the John Barnes. What a legacy. District 26 has nothing to fear. We've got great leaders. Back to you, Madam Past District Director.
Thank you, Miss AJ. All right. So I hope you all have learned a little bit of something about the various roles, what they entail. And as you can see from past and current leaders, people are excited. People are really excited about these roles. And it's a labor of love. I think, Victoria, did you say that? And that sounds like something you said. Anyway, it is a labor of love for the district. And we all get paid the same amount, and we do the same amount of, some of us, we get paid the same amount of money. But if you are looking for an opportunity to really stretch yourself as a leader, because we can talk about it being a labor of love for the district and all the networks you'll gain and all of the friendships you'll gain, those are wonderful things. But at the end of the day, people want to know, the big question people want to know about anything: what's in it for me? What do I personally get out of this experience? Especially if you're serving on the trio, what do I get out of this? And it's like, what do I get out of all of these hours spent? And again, receiving the same pay. What do I get out of this? You get personal growth. How many of you have gained confidence, whether you are a past or current district leader? How many of you gained confidence? How many of you have gained lifelong friendships? Yeah, that's pretty important. That's pretty important. I know that there's some people in this room I can call on in a clutch, and I have called on them in a clutch. And there's some people in this room that even if there's something personal going on, I know that I can tell them that, and it goes right there. It goes no further. And because we've become friends, we've supported one another. But some of you may be looking for those skills that you can use to transfer to your job, because some jobs may not provide you those opportunities. This is an awesome place. It's not, and it doesn't cost a whole lot of money to be a member, does it? No, it really doesn't. And you can gain those leadership skills that maybe sometimes you wouldn't get on your job. If you work for the federal government like me, sometimes those leadership opportunities are not always there. You have to be able to seek those things out on your own. Toastmasters is a wonderful place. People say it's a wonderful place to fail. I get what people are saying, but it's just a wonderful place to grow and learn. It's a wonderful place to gain friendships. It's a wonderful place to say, well, I'm not going to do that again. But it's all, and how many of you said that? Because I know I've said it, I'm not doing that again. But it's also a very wonderful place to look back and say, I have grown and I have stretched as a person. And if you can say that, you are successful. Outside of achieving the district mission, you are successful if you can look at your own self and say that you've grown. So please consider running for, please, if you're interested in serving on the trio, please consider that. If you're interested in being a division director, area director, one of the managers, and there are also some auxiliary roles within the district. Sometimes those change a little bit throughout the year, but these are the folks who are pretty standard right here. If you're interested in any of that, let's move a little bit forward. We're going to go ahead and push some things forward now, try to push this meeting along a little bit. So here's here's a little timeline. I'm actually going to skip forward here. So if you're interested in joining the district team, go to that website. I'm sorry, I don't have it hyperlinked there, but that's okay. How many of you know that we have a district website? You do now. www.D26Toastmasters.org. Select elected officer nominations. There you will find all of the information that you need. There are some wonderful resources. If you would like to read more, in addition to hearing about all of these offices, if you would like to read more about some of those offices, you can find resources out there. You can find resources about the different competencies that you gain in serving in these various offices. Most importantly, you can find the resource that will take you to the protocol 9.0. So one thing I want to say about district leaders, you not only uphold the district mission, but you uphold the protocol and the policy and protocols in the governing documents. And we have a resource, a link to that resource right out there. So read through that information. If you go to this page, how do I apply? There are four pieces to the application. You see them there on your screen, and they're right on that page there. So go ahead and go to that page and look at those competencies. If it's something that you're interested in, if you want to know more about the various offices, please reach out to me. Please reach out to anyone who's spoken today, and we'd be glad to give you some more information. There's the District Leadership Handbook. You can find that information, and you can find some information in the District Leadership Handbook as well. All right, so the application process. Once you have formally submitted your application to the DLC chair, guess who the DLC chair is? It's me. All right. Once you have emailed me your application, and there's my email address right there. Victoria, if I can make this slide deck available too, that would be great, but definitely the recording. Again, application process, you'll submit it to me. Once it's been reviewed, you will receive an acknowledgement receipt of your email. With the receipt email, you will receive a 2-page document, the specifics on campaign communications and violations. Now, I don't necessarily need to go back to the timeline for this, but the application period is open right now. So if you know right now that you want to run for something, you want to apply to be a division director, you can do that right now today. You can encourage people right now today to apply for that. But I can tell you this, come February 19th, I'm not taking any more applications, okay? That's the deadline. That is the deadline. Now, there are some other specifics behind the scenes that have to happen, but they're the whole floor nominations and all of that. But we don't want you to wait to be a floor candidate. We want you to get your application in now. Get your application in now. Encourage those within your clubs. I know all of you do it. All of you grab somebody within your club. Hey, you would be a wonderful area director. Tell them to apply by February 19th. Between February 19th and March 19th, candidate interviews will be conducted and deliberated upon. By February 19th, I must have the information with regards to the nominated candidates over to Victoria Cox, our district director. The names of any floor candidates cannot be included in that. So that is just a little bit of information for you. All right, so for those of you running for an elected office, the elected offices are trio. So club growth director, program quality director, and district director and division directors. Those are the elected positions within this district. However, I will still take applications for the appointed positions as well and forward that information on accordingly to the district director and whoever the incoming district director will be. Nevertheless, campaign do's and don'ts. So let's talk about it. Let's just go through some of this stuff high level. I'm not going to read all of the slides to you. I'm just going to hit it and miss it, because if you want to be a district officer, what you should be doing is reading the governing documents. Yeah, I'm going to say that again. Read the governing documents. Protocol 9.0 tells you everything you need to know about district campaigning and the like. So please, as you can see there, read it, read it, read it. Okay. I will read this screen. District candidates may only send 2 campaign communications. These communications may only be sent to members of the district council. The first communication can be sent between January 1st and 2 weeks prior to the district council meeting. The district council meeting, very important, the district council meeting is April the 30th. So just so you know that, just in perspective, the second communication may be sent 2 weeks prior, but no later than the date of the district council's annual meeting. Again, when is the district council meeting? April 30th. All right, got it? Good. All right, there's some campaign do's and don'ts, or some campaign do's. You can have a website. You may use Toastmasters branded logos and trademarks. There's one that I want to read right quick. At district non-election meetings such as area and division speech contests, candidates may be introduced as long as all candidates are present. All candidates present may be introduced. So typically what happens now that applications are open at area and division contests, TRIO member can say, if you're running for an office, please state your name and the office that you're running for. I want to advise you until you have been formally nominated, please, 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 I admonish you, do not say, I have been nominated for the office of district director. No, you have not, especially if you say that prior to March 19th, you haven't been nominated for anything. So please just don't say, I see Victoria laughing, but I do, it is very serious. So please just be cognizant of the language that you use right now. And I know my club just had our contest, and I know we're approaching what area contest in January. So call upon those folks who may be running, may be interested, and leave it at that. There's some more information there about let's see, at district conferences and district non-election meetings, nominated candidates and floor candidates may only distribute and display campaign materials in the candidate corner. I don't know if there's going to be a candidate corner. Okay, sometimes, since we've been in this COVID virtual environment, it's been a little difficult to do that over the past couple of years. I don't know. My understanding is that the conference may be in a hybrid format, so you may have some.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to do it at the conference because we would have already had the business meeting.
Oh, that's right. So
there'll probably be some kind of a blip on the website for Candidate Corner.
Okay.
Do that.
So that's something, obviously, you and I can kind of flesh out a little bit more if need be, but it's ultimately up to you. It's your call. But all right. And so here's one here. Candidates may speak and give educational presentation at district conferences at a time other than during the district council's annual meeting at the discretion of the district director. And you're saying the conference, that's right, the conference is even after the election. So that you should be okay with that. District and club websites may list nominated candidates. And again, I'm not going to read through all of this. Please consult protocol 9.0 for further information. I guarantee you, I copied and pasted all of this stuff directly from the protocol. I'm not paraphrasing any of it. I'm just putting here the do's and don'ts. So here's some don'ts. Here in one big don't. Candidates shall not serve as contest officials. So that is a big one. That's a big sticking point. So just be aware of that as you as area and division directors are planning out your contest. Just be aware of whether or not you have somebody who is planning to run for an elected office. Just might want to ask those questions. Candidates cannot present campaign speeches on any district non-election meeting or campaign at any club meetings. Please don't campaign at your club. Please just don't do that. And that's prohibited. There's there's a lot more information here. Again, I'm not going to read through all of that. I just wanted to put the highlights here, but I think the most important one is not serving as contest speech officials. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I know there was a question about someone serving as a Zoom master. A Zoom master is not necessarily a recognized contest official per se, you know, but I think this is a matter of Toastmasters needing to catch up to where we are now, because this person has, you know, in a way become a contest official. So you just might want to be careful there. Will that person be speaking? Will that person be highlighted? There are just some different things, some different considerations. And again, I think this is more of one of those issues that, oh, we didn't think about that. You know, we didn't think about, you know, it's a Zoom master now considered a contest official. So just, but definitely candidates can't serve as like your chief judge or your Toastmaster, you know, those things. I'm going to go through a couple more things. I think that's all I had in terms of don'ts. Again, I'm not going to read all of this. Protocol 9.0, that's your guideline there. And again, once you apply, once you send your application in, you will receive a 2-page document from me with the campaign do's and don'ts, which will have all of this information. And so we are going to our question and answer session. I'm going to take down my share screen so I can see who's in the room. And I do see a question raised by our Club Growth Director, Ann Hill.
Madam DLC Chair, I'm wondering whether any of the candidates, I'm sorry, they're not candidates until you nominate them. Any of the people running for office can present at a TLC or a TLI.
Let's go back to that again.
Yeah, what?
If you turned in your application, are you able to present at a TLI?
Okay, candidates may speak and give educational presentations at district conferences at a time other than during the district council's annual meeting. It doesn't specifically address TLIs, but I would think TLIs or at district conferences and district non-election meetings, such as area and division contests, nominated candidates over 4 candidates. Oh no, that's not the same thing. I think the one most applicable would be the one that says candidates may speak and give educational presentations at district conferences. That, and again, it says district conferences, but that might be extended to TLIs, but it does say it's at the discretion of the district director. I can, if you would like for me to just receive concrete clarification on that, please send me an email and I will reach out directly to the district services just so that they can answer. Because again, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to say real quick, when you go to ask them, Jacqueline, so if we do have somebody that's running that wants to give an educational session at a TLI, well, I guess we wouldn't know anybody else that would be, because all of our TLIs are in January. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, but
Just,
I think what I just read to you, Ann, is applicable, that it's okay at the discretion of the district director, but please send, like I said, send me an email and I'll clarify that for sure for you. I would rather just get the clarification and be okay with it.
Thank you.
Anybody?
I did have a comment real quick, Jacqueline.
Yes, ma'am.
So one of the benefits of putting your application in and letting the committee know that you want to run is that you are allowed to present yourself at the candidate showcase. So the candidate showcase is an opportunity where you get asked some questions, and it lets people that are going to be doing the voting for the position that you've put in for, get to know you a little bit more. With COVID, we of course cannot go. Let me back up a little bit. So when I was running for club growth director before COVID, I was running to all the area director, contest and just introducing myself and seeing my face. But I really honestly believe that when I was able to participate in the candidate showcase and also send it, my 2 emails out about who I am, why I want to run, that's where people really get to know you. So when you do send those emails out, 1, please have a photo, because it's really going to help you so that people can see who you are and recognize you. And also just the candidate showcase, they're going to ask you some questions and people can hear the answers to them. And so that's why it's important to put that application in. When you run from the floor, sometimes you miss out on those opportunities and it's just your face and they don't know who you are. But the way we're doing the conference this year, because JP's not on this call, is we are doing a hybrid conference. And the way that we're able to do the hybrid conference is to link all the days in a row. So we cannot do the business meeting in the middle through hybrid. It has to be virtual. We are going to be doing it the weekend prior to the actual hybrid conference. So that's why Jacqueline said April 30th. We're having the candidate showcase in the morning, having a break, and then we're going to be doing the business meeting where the voting will be taking place. The conference itself will start on Tuesday evening, where we're going to have a contest. And then Wednesday evening, we're going to have the other contest. The winners of those 2 contests will not be announced. It's going to be a big zip the lip until the actual hybrid event on Friday evening and Saturday. Then Wednesday, we're going to have education. That's what Ann and Jacqueline are also talking about. We're having educational sessions. If you'd love to be able to reach out and share, and it doesn't always have to be about how to be a better leader in Toastmasters or something, just your overall help on what it's going to be, what Toastmasters does for you, what kind of leadership skills can other people know about. Those are great things that people can learn from each other. And it doesn't always necessarily have to directly apply to Toastmasters. It can be a career training that they can do as well. And then that's Wednesday night, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night, we start the conference. And I'm so excited. I really hope that this new variant is not going to mess us up, because I'm super excited to see everybody. I have not seen Ann in a very long time. She says we met before. I don't remember, but I want to see my friends and get together. And then Saturday, we will be doing the same thing. So I just want to let anybody know, if you're interested, you can put your application in. If something comes up and you're not able, you can take your application back off the table. Okay, so it's better for you to please put your application in, fill out the forms. I put the link in the chat a couple of times that goes to the page that Jacqueline was talking about, reading all that stuff. We are very thorough at Toastmasters. We have etiquette, we have integrity, we have all of that. And so it's very important that you read through all that paperwork and get that information in early. Christmas is coming up. If you got a couple days off, spend that time doing it. Don't be trying to do it while you're at work. It doesn't work. So Jacqueline, thank you so much. I'm not going to cut you off, but I just want to thank you real quick on doing this and for being the DLC chair. Super excited. I know you're excited to she's got a committee of people that she's working with that are going to help her vet these people and go through stuff and find our leaders for next year. And I know that she's excited about that. I get to do it possibly next year. We'll see. But I know, Jacqueline, by the way, I'm like 5.5 months in, why you were so excited for June 30th. Thank you so much, though. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Miss Victoria. Before I would be remiss, I want to thank, and I will not identify them, but I want to thank my DLC members for being here. Y'all rock. I thank you all for agreeing to serve. And so we have our work cut out for us, but we're going to do an awesome job to to make sure that that we get the leadership that we need in this district. So thank you guys so much. Do we have any other questions? I appreciate you guys. I wasn't sure because we didn't have a lot of time to plan this event. But even for the few members who were here, I think it went off without a hitch. Thank you all for everybody who I asked, who said yes, and everybody said yes. I think one person had to say no because of work, but thank you all for just agreeing. And how long do I have to speak? 2 to 3 minutes, and we are going to time you. You know me, we're going to time you. So, and Daryl, Daryl's my club mate. He's my one of my mentors, and he's just an all-around one of my friends. So if you see me here and you see Daryl, I can call on Daryl and I'm like, well, help me out with this. Thank you. And so I always give him his props, and that's not to slight anyone else, but I'm just saying, well, why is Daryl everywhere she's at? Because, he's always been there for me, and I appreciate him, and I appreciate all of you guys just for coming. I think I see your hand, Miss AJ. Yes, yeah.
I just wanted to throw out there for consideration by this entire panel of speakers today. I'm probably going to point it at Region Advisor Brown for answer. But could you please reinforce the importance of having a leadership mentor at this point in your Toastmasters journey, if you are an emerging leader and you're getting ready to make that next step?
Thank you for that question. Go ahead, Daryl.
What's important when it comes to having a leadership mentor, it really helps you to identify potential pitfalls, blind spots, areas where you can be able to have someone speak into your life and impart wisdom that otherwise you would not be able to attain, except maybe perhaps the hard way. Why put yourself through situations multiple times where you have to learn things the hard way when you can receive guidance, you can receive direction, you can find someone who can inspire you and also help unlock your potential. A leadership mentor is valuable. It's slightly different from a regular mentor that's developing you as far as life itself, or also giving you direction when you're starting at the beginning stages as an emerging leader. A leadership mentor is essential when you are an experienced leader, but you need just a little bit more to take you a lot higher than where you are. Because sometimes we can find ourselves stuck or plateauing when there's still more that you can have to develop yourself to become an even better leader. Especially the higher you go, the more mentoring you need so that you're better prepared for that next stage as a leader. The wrong approach for any of us is to come into a situation thinking we know it all, or we have it together because we have a little bit of past experience as a leader. There's always areas where we can improve, but we won't know where to improve. We won't know the questions we need to ask unless we have someone speaking into our lives that will ensure that we know that there's some areas we need to identify to ensure that we perform at the optimum level that we desire to perform as leaders. And also, a leadership mentor helps strengthen our influence with other teams. They help us also to deal with people who are different from us, who might be a little bit difficult to work with, and helps us to learn how to be able to work with, lead, and also influence people we normally have nothing in common with. But we know one thing we always do have something in common with is the mission and the goal. Having a mentor can really make a difference. We, as much as we want to think we have it all together and we don't need help, believe me, if you want to become the best leader you can be, get yourself a leadership mentor. Your team will thank you for it. Back to you, Jacqueline.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Daryl. And like I said, he is just one of my mentors. And I am not ashamed to say that. I had many mentors last year. And when I was district director, the one thing I walked away with, you don't know what you don't know. If you don't, that's the one thing. And I think if we approach all leadership like that, you don't know what you don't know, and be receptive to people who want to help you. That said, I want to respect everyone's time. I want to respect anyone who may have a question. Please let me put I can multitask. I can, promise you I can. I'm going to put my email into the chat, but you can also find it on our website. Please reach out to me if you have any further questions. I am always a person, and I'm just going to say it, God doesn't make any mistakes, and the people who are here were intended to be here. So I appreciate all of you being here, and the people who weren't supposed to be here, they'll be here next time. But those of you who are supposed to be here, you got what you needed. And I hope you pass this information on to other folks. We're going to make, while I'm speaking, I'm just going to speak it out there. We're going to make this video available to people so that they can learn something. If they have any questions or whatever, maybe we'll do this again. I like this format. Maybe this is something we visit again, maybe in January or right before, those applications are due, just to drive home the point. But I would like the momentum. We didn't get the numbers, but it's not always about the numbers, about the quality of the leaders that we get anyway. So pass this on. I'm going to go one more time around the room. Anyone have any questions? Comments? Y'all rock. You guys rock. Thank you guys so much. Whatever holiday you celebrate, happy holidays to you and yours. Blessings to you. Be safe. And yeah.
Stay safe, stay healthy.
So meeting adjourned. Thank you guys.